is Jamie from Simply Learning Together. It's been quite a while since I came on here and shared a video with you guys, so I'm excited to be back. The reason I wanted to come on here is to share some books with you. We've been doing unit studies in our homeschool and we're having so much fun. And whenever I'm planning a unit study, one of the hardest things to do is find books. It's easy to get them from the library or a bookstore, but sometimes I just want to see inside. So I wanted to share the books that we used for our unit, our most recent unit, which was about the Vikings. And we had so much fun. If you're interested in seeing what we actually did for our unit, I'm going to share a link to that blog post below. But for now, I'm just going to share books with you. The first books I want to share are kind of like the backbone to our unit. We read them each night. I read aloud to my kids before they go to bed. And this was kind of the first time that we tried reading 2 books at night. The books I picked were easy to read, so it was easy to kind of mix the two. The first one is from Magic Treehouse, and it's their Fact Tracker series about the Vikings.
We love this series and we have used it before. They're just really easy to read to kids. There's pictures, and it's pretty thorough about the information that it shares. In this book, I liked in the end, she also kind of gave you some ideas to do more research. Good nonfiction books and some different museums. There are a lot of these in this series, so if this is something you enjoy, you can check out more.
The next book is from the Imagination Station series. This is a Christian author, and so it's going to have some Christian viewpoints in it. We love this series. This is actually the first one in the series, so if you like it, you can continue to share those with your children. But this is called Voyage with the Vikings.
All right, this Imagination Station is from Adventures in Odyssey. Once again, this is a very easy read for kids. It's made more for an early reader, but I like reading it out loud to my kids. There are some pictures in here. The chapters are pretty short. It very much has a Magic Treehouse feel, with a couple of kids that travel back in time and experience the stories in history. So I keep skipping over the pictures, but you can see there's some there as well.
The next set of books I want to share with you are books that I could actually read from start to finish. So I have young children, 8 and under, 4 of them, and 2 are not quite good at sitting still and being quiet. So it's important when I read books, I have to choose certain ones to keep them entertained. I started out our unit with this book from the Great Warrior series. It's called Vikings, and it's written by Valerie Bottom.
I loved how easy this one was to read. The pages were short and the pictures were really pretty. It was a great way to introduce our unit.
The next day in our unit, I read this book called Viking Longship. It's written by Mick Manning and Britta Grandstrom. You'll have to excuse my pronunciation.
This book is unique. It kind of takes you on the life of a Viking. It introduces some characters to you, and then it travels through the story. And so the only hard part about these is there's kind of pictures everywhere and you have to determine what you want to read. However, there is some text down here, which is factual text. So we've got our story here and the facts down below. And I'll just kind of flip through some of these pictures. They're really neat to look at. I will also say that in the back of the book, there is a recipe. We tried this and it really wasn't that successful, but maybe you might have more success with that. But you can read more about that in my blog post.
And then the other one I want to share is from National Geographic Kids. It's their Vikings book. These are meant to be readers, but they're actually really wonderful to read to your kids.
These books are great. Once again, not a lot of text and a lot of bright pictures. And it's going to tell you a little bit about everything.
The next set of books I want to share with you are more like reference books. I wouldn't sit there and read from start to finish. It's more of a book that I would pull out if we were studying something in particular. So for example, today we were looking at some of the music that the Vikings might have listened to or played. And so I was able to pull out one of our books and read about some of the music. So I'm going to share those with you now.
I've used these DK Find Out series for some of our other units, and they're just super nice. The pictures are great. They are very inviting. The information is not too much, so this is something I can read to the kids, and then we can kind of pick and choose how we want to keep reading it. They've got pictures with real people in here. Information about the Viking gods. Here's a game that you can play. Another one, just really bright and beautiful. Small sections that you could probably read to your children, but this one definitely has more text than the one I just showed you. We used this map when we were learning about where the Vikings would be. I believe a lot of these have like quizzes for you to interact with as well, so that's fun. This reference book is a little bit older, and it is great information, but it's a lot. So, compared to some of the ones I just showed you, this is a lot of text to read. So you'd have to determine, what exactly you'd want to look at. So for example, if you were studying the Normans, then you would open up to this page and you can just selectively read it, but not something I would read front to back. And then here is a game to play, a little game board. Super fun.
So finally, I'm going to share with you books that we got from our library, but they didn't really get used that much. It doesn't mean that they're bad books. It's just we found what we needed in these easy to read, easy to look at books. Since I have them here, I think it would be great to show some of them. A lot of them are series as well. So if you are looking at studying other parts of history, that you might find that in one of these different series.
This series, What Did the Vikings Do for Me? It talks about what the Vikings kind of invented or started and how it kind of relates to what we have today. So I'll just flip through a couple of pages so that you can see how it has then and now. As you can see, there's a lot of text on these pages, and if you look, it's quite a thick book, but tons of information. So if you wanted to use this as kind of a spine or a backbone to your unit study, I think you definitely could. So I'm just not even getting through the end. Let me just there's a timeline back there, some pictures. These are great, not a ton of text on a page, which is awesome. Once again, I think you could just use it as a reference for whatever you were studying that day. So if you were learning about what life on the farm would be like, you could open up to this page and read some of the excerpts that they have. So just a few more pages to look at. Another reference book. It has good pictures, and it looks like real people, real pictures, which is nice. You know what? And I should show you, it looks like they have another book for Vikings. Here it says Warriors, Exploration and Trade. Some pretty art in this one. These are great pictures in this series. Fun to look at, exciting. We kind of would just pick certain things that were interesting to us and we can look through it.
So you might have seen that most of these were from my library. I think I only own one of them. That's normally how we do our unit studies. It's just whatever I can find at the library. For our next study, I want to be a little bit more intentional about the literature I choose. And so if this is helpful for you, let me know and I can share that as well. Once again, just reminding you that if you are interested in what we did for this unit, I will link to you the blog post that kind of talks about all the different activities that we did. Other than that, that's it for now.